Greetings, fellow humans, and welcome to Sam and Max Hit the Books. I'm Max.
I'm Sam.
And we're here today to review the independently published comic Movie Men. The first issue, titled Crowded Theater, that is written by Jeremy Lott and drawn by Doug Curtis. And we'll go through it really quick. Basically, the idea here is that there's what looks like a bomb in a movie theater. And the guy yells bomb, like the usher, and people stampede out of the theater, at least the showing that he's in. Yeah. And it explodes, quote unquote, but nothing explodes. We just see a flash of light, and he shuts his eyes, and nothing, except the dinosaur is gone from the screen of the movie that they were watching. And, weirdly, the characters in the film appear to be aware that the dinosaur is missing. Because it's sort of like a Jurassic Park bit, and we've got our Alan Grant and Ellie Sattler. I can't believe I remember both names.
Nope.
Characters here, and they're kind of looking at the flash spot in the background where the T-Rex should be, and going like, huh?
Yeah, like, oh, whoa, what happened?
And even funnier is when the old lady comes up to the ticket booth to ask for her refund because the mummy walked out of the movie, it's gone, and all the other characters just started taking a smoke break to wait for it to come back. And that was definitely the funniest thing in the comic for me.
Yeah, that was hilarious. And then, of course, because she's an old lady, the usher is just like, okay, whatever you say, Grandma.
Whatever you say, here's your money back. We're more concerned about the stampede out of the theater that just happened.
True.
But as you may have guessed, the monsters that have been disappearing from the screen have appeared at apparently random places throughout town. It doesn't look like they're coming out in the theater. But first one we see is the mummy, and the mummy appears to have appeared in or around a jewelry store.
Yeah,
which he proceeds to mess up in a violent fashion. This book is very, to me, golden age comics in a way, because it's very like we don't have any time. We have to get you hooked right away. We got to get you into the action. We got to get you into the concept. We've got to introduce you to some characters. We're not going to spend 6 issues of comics going through the tragic backstory of this guy and why it's so meaningful when he gets the whip from Indiana Jones to use as a weapon. And no, we're just going to get right into it. All the characters, each one of them gets a movie weapon.
Right. That's a good thing.
It's a cool idea, and that's where obviously, it's one of those cool things where the name of the book doesn't make sense before you read it, but then you read it and you go, oh, okay, Movie Men. They never say it in the book. But we're seeing the formation of a superhero team here, or at least a super science team, sort of.
Right, because the items that appear that are able to fight the monsters and the people from the theater, they pick up these various weapons and use them. So totally superhero team.
And it looks like we've got what I would assume is maybe Excalibur. We've got a sword. We've got what looks like a very 50s sci-fi Martian ray gun. Sort of like a Flash Gordon, like a classic Flash Gordon type dealie.
Yeah.
I know a whip shows up at one point. Don't need to elaborate there, I think. And what do you think? What do you think minigun? Do you think Terminator 2? But what's the most iconic in a film use of a chain minigun?
That's a good point. I mean...
Predator?
Yeah,
look, Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah, definitely.
That's my guess. And then a wand, which you could ascribe to lots of things, but let's ascribe it to Harry Potter, because I'm lazy.
Right, yeah. People were watching, they were watching that dinosaur movie. What's the name of that dinosaur movie?
Jurassic Park?
Jurassic Park, thank you.
That's the dinosaur movie.
That is. They're watching Jurassic Park, Terminator 2, Harry Potter, and Indiana Jones.
And Mars Attacks? Or Flash Gordon?
Yeah, right, exactly. Anyways, I want to know where this movie theater is.
Uh-huh.
And can I go there now?
Yeah, do they have like a subscription service, like where you can do one of each of these movies? Let's get into that.
Yeah, exactly.
The other really golden agey thing to me was the way the cops show up at the end, and they're very like, all right, we should arrest you, but all the evidence disappeared, so you just run out of here before the press shows up and forces us to arrest you, kids.
I always like that joke.
And you get a classic cliffhanger ending, as we thought that they had dealt with all of the monsters that had escaped a T-Rex and a mummy. But no, the other theater was showing apparently some sort of Pacific Rim or other giant robot destruction thingy. And so we've got a clear through line for the next issue.
That's true. Their job is not done.
If there's something that bothered me about this comic, the lettering all seemed sort of big and bold to me. It sort of reminded me of when you do one of these graphic novels, but it's going to be shrunken down to like the smaller like digest size, and so you want to have your big speech bubbles.
Right.
But we're reading this digitally, but I do think this is supposed to be a full comics page, and it just made everybody seem like they were yelling all the time. The bold, giant word balloons. It was very declarative, and it's not really a criticism. It's just an interesting choice to me. Now, it did kind of match with the art in a way, because everything's very big and bright and bold. Sort of.
A little bit. I know what you're saying. I have the same thoughts. The art's lots of primary colors. Not a whole lot of tonal work. Once again, making it look very golden agey.
Yeah, it almost even some of the way that like the hair is rendered gives me like an EC Comics vibe, which is definitely not a criticism coming from me.
That's true. I do like the dark highlights in the way he does the blonde hair.
Yeah, it is pretty cool. Now the characters, I mean, it's only the first issue, so we haven't had much time to get to know them. Right. Everybody kind of seemed to have sort of a similar personality to me. I don't know if we've gotten... earlier I was giving it props for being like, we're not going to take any time to explain anything. We're going to get right into the action because we're all about action comics, baby.
Right.
So I don't really want to say, like, I don't really know anybody yet. But I think, I would be interested in future issues for the characters to diverge a little bit.
Right.
And just to really see some, like, contrast between them. Because this was all very, like, everyone's panicking. We all have to deal with this situation immediately.
True.
Yeah.
Moving forward, hopefully there's a little bit of character development for each character per issue, or like a couple characters in each issue as they figure this out.
Yeah, we did get the bit with the one kid and his family and his mom's van, and he doesn't want to take his mom's van to the giant dinosaur attack, which we can all relate to that.
Yeah.
We can all relate to that.
Yeah, no, that was good.
So, I liked this good. I thought this was a pretty entertaining issue. I would give this a 6.
I'd also give it a 6, and I would read another issue if one comes out.
I am absolutely certain that Mr. Jeremy Lott, who is a person who I happen to know on the internet at least, there's going to be more. The dude does work.
Ah, cool.
So, thanks everybody for listening to our review of Movie Men. And we'll be back in the near future with even more comic reviews.
That's a wrap.